Welcome to my story time by mybooksummary.com. Get ready for quick wisdom of countless stories and explore. Peter Pan by J.M. Barrie. There are some stories that never age, just like their heroes. Peter Pan is one of them. Written by J.M. Barrie and first performed as a play in 1904 before becoming a novel in 1911, Peter Pan is more than just a children's tale. It is a story about the magic of youth, the adventure of imagination, and the bittersweet truth that growing up is inevitable. Except, of course, for one mischievous boy who refuses to. Peter Pan is not your typical hero. He is arrogant, reckless, and sometimes even a little cruel. But he is also brave, endlessly fun, and full of life. He represents the wild, untamed spirit of childhood. The world he invites us into, Neverland, is a place where pirates and fairies exist, where children can fly, and where adventures never end. But Peter Pan isn't just about fun and games. Beneath the adventure lies a story about time, loss, and the tension between childhood and adulthood. So let's take a journey to Neverland, where the stars are close enough to touch, the lost boys are waiting, and a ticking crocodile reminds us that time never stops. The Darling Children, the call to adventure. Our story begins in London, in the cozy nursery of the Darling family. The Darling children, Wendy, John, and Michael, live a happy, ordinary life, full of bedtime stories and make-believe adventures. Wendy, the eldest, loves to tell stories, especially about Peter Pan, the boy who never grows up. Little does she know, Peter is real. He visits the nursery often, listening to Wendy's stories with fascination. But one night, something goes wrong. His shadow gets left behind. While trying to retrieve it, Peter wakes Wendy, and she is delighted to meet him. Peter, being Peter, is more concerned about his shadow than about how strange the situation is. When Wendy offers to sew it back on, he boasts that he could have done it himself. Typical Peter Pan. Peter tells Wendy about Neverland, a magical island where he lives with the lost boys. Children who fell out of their prams and were never found. He doesn't just come to hear stories. He wants Wendy to come with him and be a mother to the lost boys. Wendy, enchanted by the idea, agrees, and with a little bit of fairy dust, courtesy of Tinker Bell, Peter's jealous and feisty fairy companion, Wendy, John, and Michael take flight. Off they go, soaring above the city, toward a land second star to the right and straight on till morning. Neverland, a world of adventure. Neverland is everything the children dreamed of, wild, magical, and full of adventure. It is a land where mermaids sing in secret lagoons, where Native American warriors roam, and where pirates, led by the fearsome Captain Hook, sail the seas. But Neverland isn't just about fun. It's also dangerous. The lost boys, delighted to have Wendy as their mother, live in the underground home, where they play and fight imaginary battles. But Captain Hook, Peter's greatest enemy, is always lurking, always scheming. Hook is everything Peter is not. He is an adult, bitter, vengeful, and obsessed with getting even. Years ago, Peter cut off Hook's hand and fed it to a crocodile. Ever since, the crocodile has been following Hook, hoping to finish the meal. The only warning Hook has is the ticking of the clock inside the crocodile's belly, a constant reminder that his time may soon be up. While Wendy takes on the role of mother, telling stories and tucking the boys in at night, Peter remains Peter, restless, playful, and full of himself. He has no interest in growing up or being responsible. Wendy, on the other hand, begins to realize that while Neverland is fun, it isn't real. It's a dream, an illusion that cannot last forever. Captain Hook's revenge, the battle begins. Hook, furious that Peter has stolen Wendy away, plots his revenge. He captures Tiger Lily, the daughter of the Native American chief, in an attempt to lure Peter into a trap. But Peter, always clever, rescues her, earning the respect of her people. But Hook is not done. He sets his sights on Wendy and the lost boys. He convinces them that Wendy has abandoned them and captures them while Peter is asleep. The children are taken aboard Hook's ship, where they are given a choice: join the pirates or walk the plank. Meanwhile, Peter, unaware of the danger, sleeps peacefully in his underground home. Tinker Bell, who had earlier betrayed Wendy out of jealousy, redeems herself by saving Peter's life and warning him of the trap. Peter, of course, doesn't panic. He laughs in the face of danger. Flying to Hook's ship, he outwits the pirates, defeats Hook in a final duel, and sends him to his doom, right into the jaws of the ever-waiting crocodile. The tick-tock of time is finally silenced. With Hook gone, Neverland is safe again. But something has changed. Wendy and the boys begin to realize that they cannot stay. The hardest choice, growing up or staying young forever. Peter offers Wendy and the Lost Boys a choice. Stay in Neverland forever, where they will never have to grow up or return to the real world. Wendy, with a heavy heart, knows that she must go home. She has loved Neverland, but she also understands that life is about more than endless games and make-believe. The Lost Boys decide to go with her, choosing the possibility of a future over the illusion of eternal childhood. Peter, however, refuses. He will never leave Neverland, never grow up, and never say goodbye. With one last look, Wendy and the Lost Boys fly home, leaving Peter behind in the land where time stands still. The return, a bittersweet farewell. When Wendy and her brothers return to their nursery, they find their parents waiting, hearts broken from worry. The Lost Boys are adopted into loving homes, but Wendy cannot forget Peter. Years pass, and Wendy grows up, just as Peter always feared she would. One night, he returns to find her, but she is no longer the little girl he once knew. She is a grown woman now, with a child of her own. Peter is horrified. Time has moved on without him. But just when it seems the magic is lost, Wendy's daughter, Jane, sits up in bed, eyes wide with wonder. She believes in Peter. She still dreams of Neverland. And so, just like before, Peter takes her hand, and they fly away to the stars. And so the cycle continues. Because while children may grow up, there will always be another child who believes in Peter Pan. Final thoughts. Why Peter Pan still captivates us. What makes Peter Pan so timeless? Why do we keep coming back to Neverland year after year? Because it speaks to something deep inside all of us. Peter represents the childhood we all long to hold on to. He is freedom, imagination, and adventure. He is the part of us that never wants to grow up, that still believes in magic, that still looks at the night sky and wonders what's out there. But Wendy represents something just as important: growth. She reminds us that while childhood is beautiful, it cannot last forever. That growing up isn't just about losing something, it's about gaining something too. Love, responsibility, experience, and wisdom. And Hook? He is time itself, chasing us all, reminding us that youth is fleeting. But Peter shows us that as long as we believe, as long as we keep a little bit of Neverland in our hearts, childhood never truly disappears. So, if you ever find yourself looking out of your bedroom window at night, wondering if you'll hear the sound of fairy wings or the call of a boy who never grows up, listen closely. Because Peter Pan is still out there, waiting for the next child who believes. Stay tuned for more enlightening content. Head over to www.mybooksummary.com. Don't forget to subscribe and share the magic with friends, and let's grow together through the power of books and interesting stories.